I mean, I don't think that AI is going to be great for very much.
Have you seen Wall-E?
Right.
I know the concept. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
no,
have to watch it.
oh, you have to watch it.
He
It'll make you
was,
cry. It's such a beautiful movie. I think that Wall-E is probably the best depiction of the future that we're headed toward, which is so sad. But people just become blobs. You don't need to be a person anymore. Because it's all about just consumption. And like, why bother to read a book when you could, if you need to write a paper, just have ChatGPT to do it, you know? You don't understand that thing. And it takes a lot to really learn something. And also, I feel like, I mean, audiobooks are great. I will say I don't retain that information
as
as
much
well as reading a
true.
book. A podcast is actually really interesting because it's hearing two people talk about something. And so when someone's asking a question, you're like, oh, I had that same question. And then I can pick up that answer. I feel like that conversation is something that I learn a lot more from. But I mean, and this is, maybe it's the boomer in me, but I don't like AI. I don't like it in the ways that it's being used. I think that it's being grossly misused. And we had a guest that uses AI as a tool, like a painter uses a brush, you know, or uses paint. And I find that really interesting. Um, one one thing that I'm vehemently against, however, is it being available to anyone and whatever they create can go anywhere. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. We don't know how to have a decent conversation anymore. We're not ready for and also no one's asking for it. Literally no one who's asking for that. Who is like, "You know what? I never want to think again. I don't want to learn anything and I want my life to have very little quality." If you could just give me churned out slop for the rest of the day, like it's so irritating to me. And I know a lot of people use it as a great tool. I've used it as a tool for certain things before. The overuse of AI, in my opinion, is sucking the culture out of humanity. And we are so capable, we are so beautiful, we are so creative as human beings. We have this glorious gift of consciousness, of memory, of expression, of emotions. This is a vast landscape of just the beauty of life. And when, instead of using this glorious gift that we've been given, you're like, well, I could probably just have ChatGPT do it. You could. If it was doing my taxes and making me money so that I could go frolic in a field for 4 hours, that would be spectacular. Great. Let's use it for the stuff that we as humans ought not do. But like, I fully believe we are created to create. We are here so that we can make something beautiful. We are like, what is it? Harbingers of the beautiful planet or whatever. I don't know. I heard it somewhere. but we're intended to enjoy being on Earth. Like, every other animal has it figured out. And I don't know why we find it so difficult. We don't have to do any of this. We don't have to. We have everything that we need. Who's asking for this? I'm not. I don't
What
want
are
it.
Preach.
um but yeah, I mean, all of that to say, the fact that I'm going to say this, whatever, you can cut it out. The fact that we live in a time where the leader of the free world can share an AI video of him in a jet dumping feces on people that disagree with him, and that is not a fireable offense, is a time that I don't find pleasure living in. I would much rather the people who are the decision makers in the world value those who are the voices.
And also, I was shocked by. I mean, AI. I'm not very good at it. I'm definitely a boomer, so I'm not.
You're not a boomer, you're
That's
Gen
true. I'm a
X.
Gen X.
Thank you.
I'm an older Gen X. But for example, there was this ad that was done with an AI model, and now I guess there's an AI actress, and I'm like, do you know how many talented and beautiful people are in the world looking for a way to express themselves through, their acting or their beauty. And I'm like, you have to go through create an AI? Someone's got to tell me why. What makes sense in that? What's the logic? I mean, if someone can explain to me the logic, I'll listen. But I don't think there is. I mean, there's either greed.
Greed. I think that's your answer.
It's one of them. It's pushing the envelope for the sake of pushing the envelope, but it's gonna hurt because that is not productive. And then I otherwise I don't fucking know. I mean, we had this artist who is, as I mean, look, I loved her point of view because she brought things that I didn't think about. Now, I still think that to be an artist, you have to work on a craft. You have to, there are techniques. There is a reason why a good painter is really good. I think that doing it through the computer, just because you learn to talk about it, it does not make you an artist. But she had valid points. I mean, I did love the conversation. I just think that we're pushing something that doesn't need to be at all. And it's books is the same thing. I mean, I think that there are brilliant writers, and now we're gonna churn out books with I mean, I'm sure that ChatGPT could write a book in probably 2 weeks. I mean, that's gonna be
in 2 weeks. It could do it in 45 seconds.
Right. That's gonna be complete and utter shit.
2.
I mean, it's when there are writers, there are people that are talented for that, and I don't think that I need a ChatGPT book.
Yeah, or the modeling thing is what really got to me. The acting thing really got to me. It means that whoever created that has no idea what the craft of acting is. Acting, a great actor will make you feel something because they feel something. That is beautiful. An AI actor, quote unquote, doesn't feel. It doesn't have the ability to feel anything. And how am I supposed to believe that? Like, to really feel it. And if I do get to that point, there's a part of me that feels kind of sick about that, Now, that being said, I cry at WALL-E.
Right, but
however, WALL-E was like written and animated by people.
By people.
Yeah.
And same thing with interior design. I mean, it's there's this big debate. I mean, interior design, the reason why there are some really good interior designers is because they spent 20 years discovering, learning. I know artists personally. That's why I can, buy their arts and place their art because I know them. There's a history. A computer will never be able to do that. I'm sorry. They might be able to copy. They'll copy different styles and put it together, and then it's going to be just a hodgepodge, and then it's going to be whoever has a better eye, I guess, to But it's stupid. It's not. But it's like, for example, a
so
piece of
complicated
furniture,
for no
a chair.
reason.
You can,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can have 20 to 50 iteration of that chair in 3 minutes, but with ChatGPT. Great, you have 50 iteration of that chair in an ugly way. It's useless. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just fucking useless. And nevertheless, you also have to have someone to fucking make it. You still have to have someone that is going to be able to make it. I don't know.
You
AI
could get a
is just-
robot to do that.
Yeah,
What do
but
you
it's
mean?
I think that we're creating something that we really don't need.
That we don't know
and that's
how to
not going
use.
to improve a huge part of our lives. So there you go. There you go. In case we didn't have an opinion on that one.
Yeah, I'm turning away from it. I had a moment where I was leaning in. I was training for a half marathon, and I used ChatGPT to create my training program. And is it something I couldn't have done on my own? No, it was something I wanted to see if it could do, and I followed it, and it worked, and I ran a half marathon, and I had to do the running, obviously, but it was interesting to see how it could assist in the planning part of it. The other thing that we sort of I think aren't really paying enough attention to is how much energy it takes and the damage that it does in the world that we live in and the environment and Mother Nature. And like, how silly is it to like the amount of energy that it takes to create a an AI rendering of a landscape is causing so much damage when you could just go outside and look at the landscape. And the guest that we had on that works with AI had used the example of like painters had this same feeling about the photograph and or the camera, like the way that like painters were trying to like oftentimes like going in for realism, but then they wanted to have this like abstract. And so the field of photography was this initially very contested way of expressing the world. Like, were photographers actually artists? And there was that whole conversation. And I do look at that argument. I'm like, that is very interesting. I think the reason why I would not align with that or like give that the weight that some might is that I do find that there is a lot of technical skill that is involved, like what you're talking about, and the 10,000 hours that you put into something. That is the time that you spend in your life, the time of your life that you spend dedicated to a craft, and it is valuable. And with AI, because it feels like this instant solution to a problem that you didn't actually have, it feels interesting, like, ooh, this feels like the future. And it doesn't feel like the future to me. It feels like it's robbing our culture of a future.
And what we'll lose is we'll lose empathy.
Yeah.
We'll lose that. That's, I think, and we're seeing it a little bit. I mean, I think that the world has become a lot less empathetic in the last few years. But I think that because we are getting ruled by algorithm, we're losing empathy, and AI will do that. For example, I was thinking about it this morning. I go to a gym. There's a coach that coaches a class. I'm sure that they could have an AI speaker and dress him up. It would not be the same. I mean, I know the coach's wife. I know his kid. I care for. I show up and I talk to him. He shares his problem. That's what makes me human. If you remove that,
Yeah.
we lose part of ourselves, part of our core, and I don't know that. I don't think that that's for the better.
Mm-hmm. But then again, the people that are so adamant about creating this are the weirdest individuals that probably, I mean, listen, I don't mean to talk shit, but I'm going to talk a little bit of shit. The people that are in the most power in making the decisions that's making this so prevalent are not people that you really want to sit down and have a conversation with for the most part. Because I've listened to podcasts they've been on and ooh boy. No, thank you.
Not necessarily artists, right?
No, not at all. Not at all. And they're so detached from humanity. Humanity. Like, not based on the ideal way of living, the ideal, most proficient way of doing whatever. Like, I don't care about being proficient in everything, I want to I want to be a human being.
There's a great book to read, and again, it's Yuval Noah Harari.
Who?
Yuval Noah Harari. Do you know
Oh,
the guy?
is it talking about Sapiens?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the guy who wrote *Sapiens* wrote Nexus.
I have not read that one. Yeah.
Again, he's way too smart, so I don't retain. But it's he makes some really good points. Nexus is a great book.
Sapiens changed my perspective,
Right.
on humanity.
But Nexus,
So, yeah,
read Nexus. You'll
more
see
about the future, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
and but we need to be. I think that people like him need to have more say than whoever because he thinks things through. and it's refreshing. I think that a lot of people that are creating right now, I mean, the people that, social media, I think will have to be, eventually will have to be regulated, but by then, I don't know if it will be too late.